DJ Moore is headed to Buffalo, and Ryan Poles somehow got a second-round pick in return. We got a lot to discuss. Field Yates is going to join us, Adam Jahns as well, as we break down this big trade that could be setting up some other moves as well. CHGO Bears starts right now. Welcome in to the CHGO Bears Podcast on a very, very, very busy Thursday. We are live from the Xfinity Loft as we will discuss the DJ Moore trade in every single angle that we possibly could think of in the next, I don't know how long we're going to be doing this, maybe 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour, whatever it is. And, of course, we are paying attention if anything else is coming down the pipe. Field Yates, ESPN, joining us in about 7 minutes. Adam Jahns in about 37 minutes. Adam Hoge is here right now. You already were talking with Adam Jahns on Hoge and Jahns.
Yeah, the trade broke while we were alive.
But you didn't have the compensation at that point. So now if you are just joining us and you're somehow been under a Bears rock for the last 2 hours, DJ Moore traded to the Buffalo Bills along with a fifth-round pick. The Bears getting all the salary cap relief they could get, which is $16.5 million, because they don't have to keep any of the money, and they get a second-round pick in return, which I think is making every Bears fan feel a whole lot better about the trade, because I know there are a bunch of Bears fans out there that are worried, how are they going to replace DJ? But Hoge, your reaction a little bit later as we now digest everything that's gone on.
Well, I'm just surprised they got a second-round pick. I think it's a great return for the Bears, who now have 4 picks in the top 89, I believe.
Yep.
So that feels pretty good. I think they found just the perfect trade partner here in the Buffalo Bills, who have been desperate for, reliable wide receiver play for Josh Allen. But I'm a little surprised because let's look at it from the Buffalo Bills perspective. You're picking up a player that has a $24.5 million cap hit for the next 4 seasons. Now, 2 of those are guaranteed. The last 2 you can get out of it with no dead cap, right? So it's really for the next 2 seasons. What are you giving up for that? 29-year-old wide receiver with a $24.5 million cap hit. I was thinking earlier when we were reacting to this live that the Bears, for the benefit for them making this trade is the cap relief they're getting, $16.5 million. So I wasn't expecting a ton in return. I was thinking a 4th-round pick, maybe 5th-round pick, 4th-round pick, great. So when I heard, now they are giving the 5th-round pick back to Buffalo, and that's important in context.
They're basically moving up 100 places in the draft from the 5th to the 2nd, in essence.
And getting much-needed $16.5 million cap relief.
Right. I'm just saying, if you were saying, that you thought they were going to get a 5th-round pick and the salary cap relief, well, they got 100 picks better than that and the salary cap relief, which, again, Ryan Poles, good job. This is a good day for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is I was surprised they got that much in return. And I guess what I'm confused about from the Bills' standpoint is, and I'm not every year is the same, but if you're willing to make this move now and put this much cap space towards the wide receiver position, why haven't you been doing this in the past? It feels like you've just wasted.
Right, you punted on Stephon Diggs, and now you're finally replacing him. And
but now they have an offensive head coach. So I'm wondering, obviously Joe Brady, who has ties with DJ Moore, was his OC back in Carolina, pushed for this, and that's the answer to basically the question I just asked. But it seems like wasted time here in the past with the Bills.
Right. Well, that's where I'm going to credit Poles again, as this is going to be a Ryan Poles celebration show, at least from this seat. Look, you want to trade with desperate teams. You want to trade with somebody that has to fill a need. The Buffalo Bills needed a number 1 wide receiver. DJ Moore wasn't a number one wide receiver for more than 5 seconds when he was in Chicago. He certainly, in my mind, is not a number one wide receiver right now. Now, I do think he's going to have a great year with Josh Allen throwing the football. You got, top 2 quarterback in the NFL, looking for you a whole lot. Your numbers are going to go way up. So that's great for DJ. I think it's a perfect landing spot for him. But look, you weren't trading a number one wide receiver. DJ Moore had the least amount of yards he's ever had in a season last year, including his rookie, if you got to go all the way back to his rookie year. So given the circumstances, given the salary, given the Bears' needs, I just think they did incredibly well here. And all that, I want to be clear here too. I'm not trying to throw a ton of shade at DJ. Like, I don't think it didn't work out here in at least last season. It's not all on him. For whatever reason.
It's also wrong to say it didn't work out here.
Well, sure, that's fair too. Like, he had the greatest catch in the history of the Chicago Bears that 99.9% of us have all seen. I don't know what catch Johnny Morris had back in the day somewhere, or if we're going to pull out some Willie Gault catch from the 85 Bears. But, like, to beat the Packers and do the snowman in the end zone, have that moment in OT, it's the greatest catch I've ever seen. So I'm not sure. Yeah, you're right. It's not. It didn't quite work out. Let me rephrase. If the numbers were not there last year like you thought they would be in year 2 of Caleb and year 1 of Ben, that'd be a better way of saying it.
Yeah, but the Ben aspect of this is why it's so important, because, and I was a little bit surprised rushing down here after Hoge and Jahns, hearing the amount of callers that were calling into sports radio being like, kind of upset about this move. And I don't know if he just earned some nostalgia points with the fans for the quality of the catches and the big moments, which certainly do matter. But the reality is like, Ben's kind of earned the trust here that if they don't make this move, if Ben thought DJ Moore was a perfect fit for his offense.
Great point.
You know what I mean? Like, this move's not happening.
100%.
So he obviously likes the players that he has. I think that, you look back at last year's draft too, and making them, this is one of the reasons why drafting best player available is a smart strategy.
100%.
Because I don't think we went into draft weekend last year thinking the Bears were going to come out of it with Colson Loveland, who already looks like a star, and Luther Burden, who looks like he has a lot of ability to become a star. And this move today isn't made if they don't make those draft picks, because now you've freed up this opportunity to make, you have the luxury to make this move now to free up $16.5 million in cap space and get a second-round pick in return, which we were all surprised by.
It's an excellent underlining, and they did very well last year. Hopefully they'll do very well in this year's draft with number 25, 57, 60, 89. Maybe you still get a comp pick from the Falcons as well, although I doubt that's happening. Let's bring in a guy who might know, our ESPN NFL insider, Field Yates, friend of the program, making time for us in the suit, ready to rock and roll on a very busy day. Field, thank you for jumping on CHGO Bears. We appreciate it. How much were you surprised by the DJ Moore, Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears trade here this week? Are just trying to digest the whole thing.
Guys, good to be on with you. Not surprised that DJ was moved. I didn't know the specific team, but certainly DJ's future had been under some level of question when Ryan Poles was asked about it during the combine. He didn't declare that DJ would definitely be back in 2026. And then I heard you guys just talking about this prior to me coming on. If most teams trade the player that was for at least a period of this past season, especially down the stretch, sort of ostensibly your wide receiver one, the cabinet would look a lot different than where the Bears are going into next year. Not saying they don't need to add any more pass catchers, but a trio of Rome Odunze, Colston Loveland, and Luther Burden is a pretty darn good nucleus to get a passing game rolling with for the future. All three guys who will be in year 3 or earlier of their career. 3 guys that I think have star potential. I agree with the assessment that Colston Loveland is already looking like a star. Rome was incredible when healthy last season, and Luther, when he got his opportunities, was great. Buffalo's been trying to hunt for a wide receiver for a while now. I would say the most surprising part of this trade was the value the Bears got back. A second-round pick. I understand it was DJ Moore plus a 5th-round pick. But a second-round pick, I thought for DJ Moore was pretty darn good return for Chicago. especially when you factor in that Buffalo, sort of the icing on the cake for them is that they guaranteed that third year of DJ's extension, which technically kicks in this year for the Bills. So I thought good value. I understand why Buffalo was motivated to upgrade their wide receiver room, but good value, I thought, in return for Chicago.
And can you jump in a little bit on the Buffalo side of this too? Because I was just trying to process that a little bit in real time. First of all, I love the fit. I think when we were all talking about, because most people look at DJ Moore here in Chicago as, a great locker room guy and somebody that, deserves to be playing on a winning team and finally had that opportunity in Chicago this year. So you almost feel bad if he was going to be sent to like the Raiders or something and have to start over with a rookie quarterback. So I love the opportunity for him to go to Buffalo, play with a great quarterback in Josh Allen, and they obviously need wide receiver help. But I am a little bit surprised. You look at the cap hit, $24.5 million, and I'm like, why haven't they done this before? Because Josh Allen has needed this help for a while now.
Yeah, so they've been trying, right? I mean, the Bills have been trying. I wouldn't say everything under the sun, but they certainly have taken some swings at wide receiver, whether it's through the draft with Keon Coleman. Even last year, they picked up Brandon Cooks, who became like a strangely impactful player for them down the stretch last season. They made the signing of, they acquired Josh Palmer a season ago. They've done some things in Buffalo. They have tried. They have not. It's not been a lack of effort that has prevented them from finding a wide receiver one for Josh Allen. It's just that the question I think I still have for Buffalo is whether they got that player that can be the wide receiver one that I think they have been clamoring for. DJ has been an awesome player for a long time in the NFL. I think there's a chance, though, that we're acknowledging, like DJ, if he were still on the ascent, is probably still a Chicago Bear. That isn't to say he wasn't the author of some of the great moments from last season for the Bears. He was super clutch for them. The Green Bay walk-off touchdown is one of the coolest plays for any player on any team last season. I do wonder, though, if this is Buffalo going down a comparable path that they have been to before. Really, they haven't had a guy who is the true wide receiver one since they made the trade that worked out brilliantly for Stephon Diggs. And then, of course, the Stephon Diggs era came to a close just a couple of off seasons ago. So if you're Buffalo, though, and you're their GM, Brandon Beane, you got a great roster that has a lot of players that make a lot of money. You're rarely going to be picking much higher than where you are right now, which is 26th. The opportunity to acquire a true blue wide receiver one is going to probably be fleeting, that you say to yourself, hey, maybe you just take the really solid number two wide receiver and hope that Josh Allen can make him a wide receiver one for you.
That's clearly, I think, that's logically how they should be looking at it. Like, hey, with Josh, maybe he can get back to his elite level of production, which happened in Carolina. Phil, let's give an overall Field Yates perspective here. Let me read the draft picks again. Bears now have 25, 57, 60, and 89, and you, of course, are our draft expert here. And people are wondering, is Max Crosby coming in here? Are they going to use the salary cap space for Tyler Linderbaum to replace Drew Dahlman? Would you, if the Dallas Cowboys aren't giving up $8 million first-round draft picks or anybody else, and the Bears could trade 2 second-round picks and whatever else to get Max Crosby in here, would you do that, or would you keep the draft capital?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to include a first-round pick. If they're getting Max Crosby, it's not going to be for 2 twos and other stuff. Unless that other stuff was a player that has close to first-round pick value. And I don't think the Bears are in the business right now of sending away a Rome Odunze or a Colston Loveland in a trade. So let's just do some math here and acknowledge kind of where things are at. Over the past, let's call it, I guess the past week, but really the past 24 hours between the Drew Dahlman news, which is obviously a big blow, but just do some math with me for a moment. That's $12 million freed up. The trade of DJ Moore clears $16.7 million from the salary cap. Whenever the Tremaine Edmonds news gets done, I mean, the fact that he's been granted permission to seek a trade or whatever it is, or maybe he gets cut. Like if that move happens one way or another, that's $15 million more created as far as money is concerned for the Bears. The Bears have the opportunity to be very aggressive right now if they would like to do so. And I think that, while Brian Poles has been patient, he has been best player available, he has been sort of organic build. He is also, I think they also acknowledge that like this timeline got accelerated last year, right? Their coach is an absolute stud who is not only capable of getting a team to win sooner rather than later, but he's a guy that I don't think is real interested in having anything other than winning seasons. Like, I think that there's going to be a part of Ben Johnson that's saying to himself, if we were 11-6 last year, in year one of my regime, with some of the things that we had to deal with last year, injuries specifically on defense, a quarterback who's still coming into his own. Imagine my team with another full year of development. We can go there and beat almost anybody in the NFL. I mean, they nearly beat the Rams in the divisional round game. So I think there's a lot of confidence right now that if I'm Chicago, I am probably thinking big. We'll see. I think everybody in the NFL is making calls on Max Crosby. This type of player doesn't potentially become available. But it is a player that is rarely available if he is actually, if the Raiders do actually open themselves up for business. So the Bears don't strike me as a team that over the next week are going to be chipping away with $6 to $8 million per year players. I think there is probably a big swing somewhere for Chicago. And I would have said 3 days ago that big swing is definitely going to be on defense. But now that they have a Drew Dahlman-sized hole in the offensive line, and there is this incredible center available, I think it would be logical to assume that the Bears are at least calling the representation for Tyler Linderbaum come Monday afternoon at noon.
So, Field, I keep making this very clear that I don't view that as an either-or thing because the cap is fluid. You just saw today, you freed up this space with the DJ Moore trade. I believe there is a world where you can actually do both of those things, Tyler Linderbaum and Max Crosby. But if you only could do one, which one would you prioritize with what you've watched from Ben Johnson and also what the Bears defense has lacked from an edge rusher perspective?
Yeah, the cost is going to be more, but Max Crosby. This is, I don't know, top 15 player in the NFL, right? A guy who plays a position that is about as difficult to fill other than quarterback in the league. And you already have your quarterback in Caleb Williams. I don't know if Max Crosby, part of the contingency of him being traded is he would get traded and then require a new contract. I don't know the answer to that. He just got a new deal the beginning of last offseason. And maybe Max, part of the calculus for Max might be, hey, I'm trying to get out of where I am right now because I want to go win. And I want to go win. And the cost of winning might be not getting traded and then saying, hey, you're going to have to give up a first-round pick plus more to get me. You're going to also have to compensate me at $45 million per year. He may be comfortable playing at, I think it's $35.5 million per year. But Max is, to me, a game changer, a play wrecker. He's everything you could possibly ask for. There's no scheme he doesn't fit in. I think that Max is probably ready to have an opportunity to pounce. And, this dynamic, I think, should be mentioned. And I think it's probably been mentioned, but should be reiterated, is, watching that podcast with Caleb and Max, I think it's pretty obvious that right now, Caleb Williams is a gravitational force for players around the NFL. Guys want to play in Chicago because of Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. People can sensationalize locker room videos a little bit if they want. It's their opinion. I sit there and I watch those after those wins on Sunday, and it's like 53 people galvanized by players, galvanized by a coach in a way that you just don't see. You see distracted, disinterested players at times. Not the case in that locker room. Like, there's something special about this Bears dynamic and organization right now that I think is appealing to players. And I'm not saying Max Crosby would only want to go to the Bears or it's a guarantee. But I think when I watched that interview, my takeaway was if the opportunity presented itself and the price was met by the Bears, Max Crosby would be happier than disappointed if he got the opportunity to go play in Chicago. He seems like the kind of guy that appreciates how dynamic and unique Caleb Williams is.
And the city would fall in love with him in less than a tenth of a second. That would be would be obvious. People are literally on pins and needles about it, and I just get nervous.
The Raiders, by the way, Raiders have to make a decision. They may say we're not doing it, right? And Max hasn't come out and said trade me. So this is all contingent upon the Raiders being open for business and Max wanting to leave Las Vegas. My guess is the Raiders won't trade Max unless he wants to leave. I don't think they would trade him just for like organizational resetting purposes. He means everything to that organization. I just think in a world in which Max Crosby says, I'm ready to be traded, you guys go do your thing. I think it's logical to presume that Chicago would have appeal to Max Crosby.
Field, I know you're super busy. Really appreciate the time. Just in a vacuum, Bears, Tyler Linderbaum, $24 million a year. Would you do that?
That's a tricky one to get to for anybody, guys, just because it's so far market setting, right? I mean, that's $5.5 million more per year than the highest paid center. If my math is what Creed Humphrey is at 18 or 18.5, I mean, that's a huge boost right there. He's got all the leverage in the world right now, does Tyler Linderbaum. I would file that under the category of he's going to make your team better. He's an absolute stud. It's just, is it maybe 15% more than you'd like to pay under ideal circumstances? Yes. He would really, really help the Bears given the circumstances in all of their teams. So I think you got to have a little bit of nuance there. Like, I'm going to applaud the impact he'll make. I'm also going to acknowledge that when you blow the market out in a position like that, there are some trickle-down effects that have to be accounted for at some point.
Yep, you'll have to pay for it at some point.
Field, you're all suited up. Where do our viewers and listeners find you today?
If you guys want to go watch it 3 o'clock on the Deuce, ESPN2, we got some Draft Daily. We'll be discussing the DJ Moore trade, the vacuum of the draft, and some other stuff in there as well.
That's awesome. We'll be watching. Thank you so much for joining us on short notice, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Field.
All right, guys. No problem. Talk to you.
Yeah.
Field Yates.
The great Field Yates, ESPN. Making time for us on a busy day. What do you think, Hoger?
Short notice, and he's always dressed extremely well.
Fields is
better than us.
Incredibly generous with his time, and we saw him at the Combine. Didn't work out there, so got it done today, which was I guess we'd all argue that was a good thing the way that one worked out. No, he's all in on Max Crosby, man.
Yeah.
Did that change your opinion at all?
Let's talk about it on the other side of this break,
Yep.
and I also have thoughts on the Linderbaum thing because I don't necessarily think it's going to get to that number that you threw out. So just keep that in mind as well. So we got a lot more coming up on the show. Thanks to Field for joining us. We'll also hear from Adam Jahns here in a little bit as well. But first.
Hey, shout out to our friends at Xfinity. We would not be able to talk about this breaking news today without Xfinity. And yes, they've got the 5-year price guarantee, so you can talk about any trade in the next 5 years and know that you're going to have the reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi to do this show or do whatever you do in your world. Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. If you got 8,000 people in your home and they're all doing something, the Wi-Fi is going to hold it together. That's what Xfinity is all about. All the devices working in perfect harmony for a whole 5 years. Who would not want that? Yes, and change is going to come in these next 5 years. You know it. But listen, this Xfinity is going to be there right there for you. Lock in your price. Unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. DJ, thank you again for everything you did. When you get to Buffalo, I recommend you dial up Xfinity. You might be there for, who knows, 5 years.
Right. Try the buffalo wings, too.
Yeah, good.
Obviously.
Yeah, Duffs.
Goes without saying.
Good.
Hey, you notice the golf courses are starting to get a little activity here.
Braggs is on one now, probably.
Well, yeah, but he's in Arizona. I'm talking about here in Chicago. It's supposed to be in the 60s this weekend. Don't be fooled, though, because what I always call third winter, it's coming. It's going to hit us big, and you need to make sure that your home's heating is still up for the challenge. You know this by now. It's just the start of March, so now's the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. If you're thinking about a whole home generator, Four Seasons got you covered. At Four Seasons, they're going to guarantee you same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. You can save up to $4,000 on furnace and comfort systems right now. Furnace is starting at just $39 a month. If you are looking ahead to the summer, you want to go furnace AC combo, $57 a month. Right now, you get save $50 if you call today. So go ahead and do that. Visit FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com.
So thanks again to Field Yates, another one of his teammates over at ESPN, Adam Schefter, today talking about Max Crosby. This was on McAfee. Quote, I think the Bears have checked in on Max Crosby, but I don't know if they will be able to get it done. Everybody is sniffing around, and we're waiting to see if the Raiders decide to move Max Crosby. Let me ask you a question. Actually, why don't you let's stick with Crosby for a second here.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Raiders are going to move Max Crosby. Do you?
I think so, too, yeah.
Okay. And I think that Ryan Poles is very interested in Max Crosby. He certainly did not deny that at the Combine.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
I think Ben Johnson is, too.
Okay. I think Max Crosby is a great locker room fit here, or in any locker room. Just that level of presence is incredibly exciting in theory to have. It's not their number one need, but it's also one of the best players in the NFL. So I don't know.
It's a pretty high need.
It's up there. I still think they need. I would put. I don't know, man. I would put defensive tackle above it. I would. You don't?
Why?
Who do they got? Jervon Dexter in his last year is going to be out the door. Grady Jarrett is a shell of himself. They don't. I mean, Shamar Turner, they liked him more at edge. I mean, who do they have up front? Andrew Billings, who was also a free agent, right? I mean, I to me that's a bigger need than the edge.
But who are you filling it with?
Well, a draft pick.
Okay, well, you can still do that.
Well,
why don't we do both?
Well, you're going to have to, as you know, I tried to like weasel out of 2 second-round picks for Max Crosby and a player.
That's not happening.
That we don't want.
You're giving up your first-round pick,
right?
But there's defensive tackles in the second round you can draft.
Okay. So listen, I'm not saying I'm completely against it. I'm just trying to figure out if you think it's in your mind. Do you think that is going to be priority number one here and it's going to happen? What's your guess?
I think the Bears are definitely sniffing around Max Crosby. I think the sticking point right now, not just for the Bears, but for all the teams, is anybody going to blink and offer two?
Yeah.
First rounders. Now, there's been some smoke that maybe the Cowboys are willing to do that. I kind of find that hard to believe. But who knows with them? Like, they're a complete wild card right now. They don't seem to have any idea what they're doing.
Right, and they'll kick the
can
can
down.
down.
Get rid of Micah, and now we're going to replace him with an older version of Micah.
There's never any logic in Dallas. So
right.
We'll kick the can down the road. We'll pay for it someday.
But that's what makes it hard if you're another team like the Bears, because I do think the Bears, and I've been on record for this, should stay firm at not giving up 2 years' worth of first-round picks. Next year's draft, and this is probably also a sticking point if I'm the Raiders, next year's draft is considered to be way stronger than this year's draft. So just the 25th overall pick, not that the Bears are for sure going to be in the same spot next year, but if you're looking at it like that, just to compare, the 25th overall pick next year has more value than this year's 25th overall pick.
Right. Correct.
Now, maybe that's another way you sweeten the pot. Maybe you give up this year's second and next year's first instead of this year's first. Maybe that's something that gives it over the hump. These are all types of the conversations that I think are right now both the Raiders and the teams interested in Max Crosby are trying to figure out.
Would you give up 25, either one of 57 and 60? I'll say 57 for argument. So you'd have 60 left, and then 25, 57, and a third-round pick next year. You doing that? Would you give up those 3 picks?
100%. That's not going to get it done.
What else do I have to add in for you?
Probably a player.
Like who?
I don't know. You just traded DJ Moore, so that one's out the window. I maintain that I don't look at Tremaine Edmonds the same way that those who
don't think that the 25th, the 57th, and say a second-round pick gets it done?
Use a third-round pick. That's different.
All right, let me go up to a second. Do you think that
2 seconds and a 1, maybe? Yeah.
I'd have a hard time doing that. I wouldn't.
He's so good.
Listen. I get it. We like shiny things. This is not how it works, though. You still have to go. Would you pay for Tyler? You doing that? I know you have thoughts on. You were saying you have thoughts on that not being.
Yes.
You'd pay for Tyler.
Yes.
Okay.
I do both. You need all pros in this league. You just pretty much lost one in Drew Dahlman, because Drew Dahlman, while I don't look at him as like a top-tier overall offensive lineman, but he is one of the best centers in the league. So if you're one of the best at your position, you are a blue-chip player.
I mean, I need a salary cap expert here to figure out exactly all that would mean right now if you did that, if you had both.
You can make it work.
I know you can. I understand you can make it work, but then...
Well, this is what I was going to say about Linderbaum. Look, maybe I'll be wrong about this, but $25 million a year, to Fields' point that he just said when he was on the show with us, that's jumping up like $7 million, almost $7 million over the currently highest paid center. That would surprise me, because that's not really how that works. It's usually position by position. I think you can get it closer to $20 million.
Okay, but he turned down 20 already. So I think he did that. His agent did that knowing that they were going to get more. So let's just say it's 22.
Not necessarily. You turn down 20 thinking you're at least going to get that on the open market.
Okay, let's just how about just for argument's sake we say that it's 22. Does that seem like a fair number to
Sure,
settle
but
on?
I'm not convinced they will get there. But sure.
Well, we're talking about a difference of $1 million or $2 million.
Right.
It's not. I mean,
well, for what it's worth, the team that had him, the Ravens, they had the 5th-year option. It would have been $23.4 million to keep him for 1 more year. The Ravens, who've known him better than any other team, said no, that's a little out of our price range.
right. Which
Well, that is an inflated price. That's what the 5th-year option would have been on the center?
It was a little inflated because he made a Pro Bowl. That
yeah.
elevates it.
The Pro, which is one of the dumber things going on right now, that the Pro Bowls, which we make fun of now every single year, are greatly impacting the 5th-year. The Bears actually dodged a bullet this year by Darnell Wright not being a Pro Bowler. Second team All-Pro, but not a Pro Bowler. I think it saved them $6 million on the 5th-year option. That's crazy. And so a 5th-year option on a center costing $5 million more than the highest paid center in the entire league is getting right now makes no sense to me. So, but that actually makes more sense of why he didn't get the 5th-year option. And here's the other part of it that I think some people are missing, and why I think both can happen, Carm. You can't, when signing a player to a new contract, you can manipulate that contract with the signing bonus to get you. You could theoretically, I'm not saying the Bears would do this, make him cost almost nothing against the cap this year.
right. Right.
League minimum against the cap this year.
The Bills could, by the way, do that with DJ and kick the can down the road there too. They can restructure the whole deal because they traded for him.
Right.
They can make his salary cap hit be, I think it's $6.5 million or whatever, somewhere right there.
Right. But I'm not saying they're going to do that. But if you're in the comments right now saying you can't do both, you're wrong. I'm not saying they're going to do both, but it is 100% possible to do both.
Well, I am seeing in the comments too that there's a bunch of people saying just sign Trey Hendrickson and don't trade the picks. Now
Which is fine.
Which,
if you told me the Bears got Tyler Linderbaum and Hendrickson and they didn't trade any picks, but I don't see how from a cap perspective that's any different, because the thing with Hendrickson is his deal is going to be shorter. It might only be 2 years. It might only be 1 year. And then you don't have that same flexibility.
right, but you'd have him on a prove it deal, and what are you gonna what's a 1 year? What's a 2-year contract for Trey Hendrickson look like right now with 25 guaranteed? Something like that?
Over all of those 2 years?
Yeah.
I mean, right now, we had it this morning on Hoge and Jahns. Pro Football Focus is projecting 1 year, $21 million.
Okay.
Which is the full deal.
I mean, you got to have good medical people.
But maybe to make that work is where you greatly lower Linderbaum's cap hit this year to fit Hendrickson in, and then Hendrickson's gone in a year.
Joey Jackson could be gone in a year. I think will be gone in a year. I would expect Luke Newman to have a great chance to be one of the starting guards next year. They like Luke Newman a lot. The people that are saying Luke Newman at center, I think is completely crazy. Did anybody see Luke Newman play center last year? He was horrible. You're not gonna put a second year guy who couldn't snap the ball with Caleb in year 3 of Caleb. That's not gonna happen. Which is why
here's the thing though. My understanding, he's been working at center this offseason.
I don't care.
To get better at it.
I could care less. The Bears can't do that. That's crazy to me.
Well, I agree with you.
Okay.
I'm sitting here saying go sign the best center in football.
Right.
I obviously don't think that they should put Luke Newman there.
Okay.
I'm reporting he's working on it. That's new information.
Okay. I'm sure he is. I would work on it too if I were him. Like, you have as much flexibility as possible. Just the people that are saying that's like, you're not.
Right.
Like,
but Carm is also going to tell you to replace DJ Moore with Darnell Mooney.
I do think they should bring back Darnell Mooney. I know he wasn't as potent as he was last year. 2 years ago, 64 catches 2 years ago. I think he was second in the NFL in 20-plus yard catches that resulted in a first down. Dude looked damn good in Atlanta. Who was playing quarterback for Atlanta last year? No one. Bring back that guy's first class in the locker room, man. You need a third receiver. Can we get Darnell Mooney on a team-friendly deal? I would bring Darnell Mooney back all day long. Falcons are not going to bring him back. Hoge knew that I was going to go for Darnell Mooney today. He made fun of me on Hoge and Jahns, and now he wants to make fun of me more right now, but he's just sitting there doing his Hoge look because we got go ahead.
Would you rather pay Darnell Mooney or see what you got in Jahdae Walker for the league minimum?
I don't want to take reps away from Jahdae.
Come on. You don't want to take reps away from Jahns Walker?
So you're going to overpay.
Why can't he be the
Darnell
fourth
Mooney?
receiver?
Who?
Jahns. We need we need a third wide receiver. The Bears are not going to.
So you're replacing.
I'm replacing DJ with Darnell for a lot less money.
Well, wouldn't Mooney? No. DJ's being replaced by Olamide, by Rome Odunze and Luther Burden. And Colston
already
Loveland.
here.
Right, they're being held back because he's on the roster. That's part of why this trade's being made.
Who's the true third receiver on the Bears? You're not just going into the year with 2 wide receivers. You either got to draft somebody or sign somebody.
I got news for you. There's a good chance Colston Loveland is your number 1 wide receiver. You have to think about it that way.
You're not going into next year with Rome Odunze and Luther Burden and Olamide Zaccheaus or Jahns Walker. That's not what you are not going to do that. You're either going to draft somebody that you like with one of your second-round picks or
which there are a lot.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that, or you could go bring in a guy like Darnell, who was first class in every single way here and put up 1,000 yards in a Bears uniform. That was a while ago, but he had a great year 2 years ago in Atlanta when they actually had a quarterback playing football. I don't know what Darnell's not old.
No to Mooney. I just think I wouldn't be shocked if Mooney's signing the vet minimum somewhere.
Great,
wherever it is.
Great.
Well, I'm just trying to put it in perspective that what Darnell Mooney is in the league right now.
Yeah, and I got it, and I think that would be a wonderful.
You had a nice conversation with him in his locker once, so you want him back.
If you're going to go down,
right now your best argument he's a good guy in the locker room.
No, my best argument was that he was number 2 in the NFL in 20-plus yard catches for first downs 2 years ago when they had a quarterback. He had a great year.
He did.
So he hasn't. I don't think he's fallen off a cliff. If you can get him for what you just said, the vet minimum, to me that would be a steal.
For me, I think the number 3 receiver is none of the above. I think it's going to be whoever ends up being the kick and punt returner. And I don't think that guy's on the team right now.
Well, he's at Iowa. He's going to be. That's my guy. Hayden Weegen. That's another one of my guys.
Well, this is where I'm going to continue. See, I'd rather spend actual money on Rashid Shaheed.
I'm not going to fight you on that. That's a fine.
Because that's a guy who can blow the top off the defense and be the best kick returner in the league.
Steven, get in here in a second, but listen, Rome has yet to pop the way Rome needs to pop. This is going to be a huge year for Rome. You can't tell me that you're 100% certain that he's going to do it. You're going to need a little more insurance than just telling me that Colston Loveland is going to catch every football next year. And maybe, I'm sure he's going to get an absolute ton of targets. He had 47 in the last 4 games, including the last 2 playoff games. He's going to get the football a ton. But you need a little bit more in that room.
Okay, but...
no one's talking about Cole Kmet too. He can catch the football too.
You made a great point there with Rome Odunze, but I have news for you. If Rome Odunze doesn't pop, Darnell Mooney's not the one that saves you from that problem. That's a major problem that is not filled by anybody else.
Correct. It would be a major problem, but you do want to have some depth behind him. Is he going to stay healthy? Nobody really knows what's going on with that stress fracture.
Hoge, you bring up Rashid Shaheed, though. One of the interesting things with that is one of his rumored potential suitors was the Bills, and now they don't need him anymore, really.
Right.
So, that might actually give the Bears a much better chance at getting him. I don't know if they're going to pay the price tag. This in a pretty thin wide receiver free agent market. I don't know if the Bears are willing to go up to what he's going to get now, just because of the limited crop that's available, and one less player available now with DJ Moore getting traded.
Yeah, look, I said this on Hoge and Jahns earlier. I think Rashid Shaheed is a luxury. That's probably not happening, but it is something I keep in the back of my mind if Tyler Linderbaum doesn't happen, Max Crosby doesn't happen, because I think he's somebody that could be very dangerous in Ben Johnson's offense and upgrade your kick return game a lot.
It'll be interesting to see which way they go with that spot on the roster, as far as adding at least somebody into that room. All right, let's get to Adam Jahns in a matter of moments, but first.
Hey, when we needed new Hoge and Jahns hats this year, where do we go? We went to Branded Bills, because if you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. You can get those awesome Branded Bills hats right now. They also got Chicago versions and Big Ten schools. I just ordered my Wisconsin hat, actually, And it's going to come just in time for March Madness. We're ready to go. So if you're looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd, Brandon Bills has you covered. The best custom headwear. Start your order, and their dedicated team will help you. Don't screw up my hair.
Iowa.
You know, the only reason I'm not going to toss this right now is for Tyler Linderbaum.
There you go.
They have a partnership with 40 colleges. It includes this silly school: Iowa, Maryland, Michigan State, Penn State, Purdue, USC, Northwestern, Wisconsin. Head to BrandonBills.com. Use code BBCHGO. You'll get 15% off your first order. That's BBCHGO. BrandonBills.com.
Let's go Nittany Lions. All right. Shout out to our friends at Shady Rays. Good to be able to talk about Shady Rays again. You know that moment when you realize your favorite sunglasses are at the beach or on top of your car? I left my phone on top of my car last night. That was a miracle. And if I had lost it, I would not have been able to get it back. But you would be able to get it back with Shady Rays. They have changed the game. Sunglasses made for real life. The good-looking, polarized, durable, and they're not stupidly expensive. The affordable ones. And if you lose it, you break it, they send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just the replacements. So, wear them. Take them wherever you go. Don't worry about it. On a boat, on a mountain. I was on a mountain out in San Diego. That was fun. I had my Shady Rays. It made it even better. Go to ShadyRays.com and use the code CHGOSR for 40% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. CHGOSR, ShadyRays.com. A clarification for the chat?
Well, just Carm Sweet Bippy here.
My guy.
Just saying, Hoge wants to spend a lot of money. Linderbaum, Max, Shaheed, Byard. I know cap is flexible. That will be very difficult. I want to be clear. I'm not saying do all of that. In fact, I thought I was very clear. I said Shaheed if Linderbaum and Crosby don't happen.
Okay.
Yes, I want to spend money. I want to keep this team good. But I think there are ways to do it where you stay in this window of Caleb Williams. There's smart ways to do it. Part of that's moving DJ Moore today. And it's not all of the above. It's A, B, C, pick from the options that are here and do 2 of the 4 or 3 of the 4.
Right. You're just putting all the options on the table. It's a big smorgasbord of ways to win football games out here. And let me also be clear. I'm not on the top of some mountain saying, go get Darnell Mooney. I'm just telling you, I like Darnell Mooney. And if there's a value piece in bringing him back, I wouldn't hate it. And yes, there is a quarterback on the roster that talked about him as his favorite wide receiver on the entire team because after he had a couple drops in one game, he wanted to go back to the facility and run 150 routes on a Sunday night, speaking to his work ethic. So I do have a lot of positive things to say about Darnell. But anyway, and I know he didn't have a great year last year. That's not the point. I'm just saying it will be I want somebody else in that room. That's what I'm saying. Period, end of story. Let's bring in Adam Jahns. Johnsy, we have to show you the love because you somehow knew that today was going to be this spirited, and now you're after Hoge and Jahns jumping on with us, so we appreciate it.
I need a do-over from this morning. Happy birthday, Johnsy.
Yeah.
It's his birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jahns.
Yeah.
Thanks, fellas.
Yep. Now, please save us from him doing a Bajent Darnell Mooney show, please.
He called it on the show earlier. He did, Carm. I'm sure you saw it. Yeah, the Darnell Mooney love that would be pouring in from you today.
Yeah. Hoge knows me. He knows that I like players that are good people who work hard and have had 1,000-yard reception years with the Bears and was one of the better wide receivers in the NFL 2 years ago. But anyway, I know it's completely and utterly crazy that I said that. How are you digesting the trade compensation and everything else you've picked up in the last 2 hours since you were talking on Hoge and Jahns?
Well, there's a couple layers to this. First things first, it's the money that is now that the Bears are saving by sending DJ Moore to the Bills. Like, how do they use it? And Carm, I actually agree with you a little bit. Like, a field-stretching, speedy threat at receiver would help the Bears' makeup, especially in that receiving room. It's a different threat than that's currently in there. And I think Ben Johnson, he's on record saying he wants a variety of different threats coming out of that receivers room. So adding a field-stretching, fast threat would do that. I don't know if it's Darnell Mooney or someone else, but I would think that would be something that Ben Johnson would want to inject into his offense. But my first thought was two players. There's Tyler Linderbaum and Max Crosby. I know we're obsessed with the receiver position and following the ball, but it all starts up front. Protect the passer, get off the passer. So if you're going to ship some salary out, if you're going to gain a second-round pick, let's use those assets, the money and the cap and the draft capital to reinforce the trenches on both sides of the ball.
No doubt. But by any wide receiver thing is down the list. And for the record, I would pay.
I guess what I'm trying to do is recenter us off who the Bears' third and fourth wide receiver is right now. Keep the eye on the prize. Jahns, Max Crosby, Tyler Linderbaum. At this point, with the moves that have been made, I think I'll be disappointed if the Bears don't end up with one of the two of them.
I like that take.
Yeah. Well, the most initial reaction that I had with the 60th pick coming back to the Bears from the Bills was like, well, that could be packaged to the Raiders for Max Crosby. Maybe that will help spice things up to get the conversations really going. Maybe that will push them over the top and turn off the phones with the Dallas Cowboys or other teams that are calling the Raiders. The Raiders should play hardball with all these teams. They're giving up one of the premier pass rushers in this game, a true blue chip player. You don't trade pass rushers like Max Crosby without getting a lot in return. But if you're the Bears now you have more draft capital to work with. If it's parting with the 57th pick, it's parting with the 60th pick. I don't know. It's just you can be more creative because you have more at your disposal right now.
Let's have you both take a stab at what player off the Bears right now would the Raiders be most interested in that the Bears would be willing to give up? Because obviously I don't think they're trading Colston Loveland. They're not going to trade Luther Burden. Who do they want that the Bears would potentially say, okay, that's fine? Like I'm going in my head like, you want Jalen Johnson? Because we can go out and sign Deshaun Wright. Like does anybody pop to mind right now?
Well, do they want a player at the same position? Do they want a young player like Austin Booker? I don't think they would entertain Montez Sweat too much in conversations, but do you want a young up-and-coming pass rusher to kind of fill that void immediately if you're the Raiders? That comes to mind because it's the same position. Tremaine Edmonds, and maybe they need linebacker help, but that would be like a dream scenario for the Bears, just like it was a dream scenario to include DJ Moore in some trade scenarios back and forth with the Raiders. But to me, it would be Austin Booker. Maybe you want the same position in return.
I think Booker makes sense to help fill the gap from losing Max Crosby. Maybe Javon Dexter. I mean, they need help up and down that defensive line. I would throw Dexter in that conversation too, another young player.
To me, Tremaine actually does make sense because Devin White, their best linebacker, is a free agent. If they don't retain him, they need someone to play linebacker on the Raiders.
But you can get him after he gets cut. That's why you wouldn't do it, right?
We're talking about linebackers like Leo Chenal and Alex Anzalone being available for like half of what Tremaine Edmonds costs you.
Do teams want to play for the Raiders? Or do players want to play for the Raiders, I mean? And the reason I say that
is according to Mike Silver in The Athletic yesterday.
If you trade Tremaine Edmonds to the Raiders, for instance, I know this is a pipe dream. This would be like the perfect scenario for the Bears. But if you trade him there, he doesn't really have a choice. He has to play for the Raiders then.
No, I get it, but I'm talking about. Go ahead, Jahns.
Sorry, like the Raiders side of that philosophy. Well, we don't think we're going to be able to sign him in free agency, so we'll take him in a trade just because now we have him. He can't get out of here. It's not a bad way to think of it.
Force him to come here.
Yeah, but think about it. Like the Jaguars have been overpaying everyone in free agency for years because nobody really wants to go down there. You have to throw so much money at these guys. Like Leo Chenal, what was that projected contract? Like 2 years, like $7 million, something like that. Hoge, like he could get like 2 years, $17 million from the Raiders if he really wants to play hardball. That's how desperate some of these teams get, especially in certain markets.
Jahns, earlier when we were talking about the compensation coming back in this trade, we were talking like fourth, fifth round. How surprised were you when you saw it was a second round pick?
I had like third round in mine, and I guess if you want to go through this with the fifth round going back and it being like the 60th pick, maybe it is like a third round pick, but like I don't like going down that road. It's a second round pick still in my book. I think it's a win for Ryan Poles. Like how could it not be? So maybe there was more of a robust market than meets the eye for DJ Moore. Maybe Ryan Poles did a good job just playing up the Bills in this scenario. Maybe the Bills' desperation was a factor in it, but I prefer to believe that there was a market for DJ Moore. Everybody saw what he did against the Green Bay Packers. Everybody still sees a playmaker, and everybody needs help at receiver, especially playoff-bound teams like the Bills.
So let's do an unfair exercise here and try to guess at who was the driver of this trade. Because Ryan talked to, listen, the Bears made DJ their schedule release, the face of that a couple of years ago. Like, this guy was beloved in the locker room for a period of time. Last year, he has his production-wise his worst season in the NFL. It's under Ben. There's needs that are coming left and right here. So I do wonder just a little, like, the whole thing with Caleb at the end of the year, whose fault was it on that play? At least it was never talked about that those two spoke. Like, who do we think was it just strictly the Bears have too many needs, you're too expensive, or was there more going on behind the scenes if you had to guess?
No. I think this is just football business. This is a receiver who's in a loaded Bears receivers room, which is still kind of crazy to say because usually this is a team that lacks receivers. But for some reason now, they're kind of overloaded with them. He had the top salary cap hit on the team, and his production didn't meet that cap hit. The Bears had other needs elsewhere, kind of intensified by the retirement of Drew Dalman. So this is just the NFL business part of it. The Bears are a better team with DJ Moore. I will argue that every single show that I join. But at the same time, you have to understand that they have other needs. And DJ Moore, with there being a pretty good market for him, obviously, because they got a second-round pick, like, this is just part of the NFL business. He became expendable. I hate using that word, but it was a luxury to have him. And here is what you get. You get the flexibility you need cap-wise, and now you have more cap picks or draft picks to use in the draft.
Well, I'm going to quibble a little bit because I buy in the argument that the Bears have a better roster with DJ Moore on it. I think there's a world in which they have a better offense, though, with him removed from the situation and Colson, Loveland, Luther Burden, and Rome Odunze taking these steps forward in their development that you're expecting them to make. That you could say that they're overall, the entire offense will be more of a well-oiled machine by removing DJ Moore out of the equation, not because of, his talents or anything, just because of the target share and things like that. Do they have less depth? Yes, which is why Carm's bringing up Darnell Mooney, and somewhere you're going to have to fill that. But if you look at Ben Johnson's track record, like whoever the third, fourth wide receiver is, whoever that guy is even if it's Jahns Walker, is going to end up having decent production and make good plays for you, which, by the way, Jahns Walker already did for you in a big, massive game this year against the Green Bay Packers.
See, to me, that's a projection, and I can't say that with certainty, but I know what DJ Moore's history tells you he's going to bring. I know he's produced with almost every single quarterback, which makes the 2025 season an outlier. And I remember that Green Bay game where Rome Odunze wasn't playing, where Luther Burden wasn't playing, and DJ Moore, and I think Jahns Walker delivered in a big way for the Chicago Bears. I think this is a room that Ben Johnson would like to keep deep. I think it's a room where he would want a bunch of different types of receivers in terms of speed, size, and skill set. And now it's less of a need than other positions. I think it will be addressed in some capacity moving forward. We are talking about third and fourth receivers, but look, Hoge, I know what you're saying. I'm not dismissing your point. I just think DJ Moore, like when you're assembling a roster, like DJ Moore is a high-end receiver. Is he a blue chip? Probably not, but he's up there in the top 15. He's a good player. And now your roster is a little bit different because of it. But the Bears, on the other side, have a chance to answer because they have more draft picks and they have more cap space to fix their problems. So they could turn this DJ Moore situation into a better roster, but that comes next.
Hit the like button for Johnsy. Hit the like button for Field Yates. Hit the like button for Adam Hoge. And I'll even say hit the like button for Darnell Mooney. All right.
I thought he was going to say himself.
Yeah, no. I'm keeping myself out of it. Let me ask you this question. DJ Moore and Drew Dalman on your roster versus Tyler Linderbaum and draft pick 60.
Wait, say that again?
Which is the better roster? You have DJ and Drew Dalman I'm just trying to assess how much better or worse are the Bears today. If this is how it goes, you lost DJ and Drew versus you signed Tyler Linderbaum and you have draft pick number 60. Is that a better team? Because everyone would say that Linderbaum is a better center than Drew, right? You are going.
Yeah, but draft pick 60 is a lottery ticket to be. No, I'm not saying that that's better than DJ Moore.
Right. Okay. So
that's not how this works.
Yeah, it's an incomplete picture. It's an incomplete picture. Like it is sort of how it works, but it's incomplete because you want to see what the Bears do with that 60th pick. Do they package it in a major move for Trey Hendrickson? Does the retirement of Dahlman and the move of DJ Moore, does that free up enough cap space to bring in Crosby or to bring in Hendrickson? Like, let's see what the Bears do with all this. This story is far from over.
I mean, one thing we got to keep in mind is between Dahlman retiring and the trade of DJ Moore, the Bears do now have $26.7 more million of cap space to work with.
Right. So let's just do it that way. DJ and Dahlman on your team or Linderbaum. Forget the pick. You got the top center in the NFL who's 25 years old and you just lost DJ Moore. You can't. It's hard. You're not better, right?
Let's see with the added context.
Let's see what they do. Yes, yeah.
With the added context of knowing I have Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Colson Loveland coming, I'm okay with that.
That's another argument.
I think that's. But what I'm talking about is like, you just got younger and probably slightly better at center, even if you're spending a little bit more money. Okay, you just got younger at wide receiver. And you added a draft pick that you could add another young. Like, this is what you have to do in the NFL. You have to recycle this stuff. Otherwise, you get too old and too expensive too fast.
Correct. And that.
So regardless of what you're trying to do in a vacuum, compare this and this and this, it's good business. Jahns, you used football business earlier. What the Bears have done today is good, it's smart football business, whether it works out or not. You can't fault the process.
I think today was a phenomenal day for the Bears. I think Ryan Poles hit a home run. You needed the money. You needed the flexibility. You really would love to have a higher, some high draft pick to either A, use in a trade, or B, take your best player available on the board like they want to do at 60. I mean, I think it's a phenomenal day for the Bears. And I say that also trying to say at the same time that thank you to DJ Moore, who did not miss a game in his entire Bears career here, who had the best catch in the most impactful moment of any Bears wide receiver. I don't want this to come across that anyone here is trying to shit on DJ.
Well, that's the last thing I want to bring up to you, Jahns. Like, how much of that matters in this conversation? What DJ played through, I'm going to go as far as to say, like he really embraced beating the Packers, the cheese grater thing. Like, that became like part of the culture, led to where the season went, and DJ Moore was a part of that. Does that, how much, because there's something we said for losing that going into next season, some of that stuff carrying over by moving out a player like DJ Moore. How does that matter? How much does that matter?
There's definitely a void left in that receivers room. It's going to be on Rome Odunze to step up and fill it. Let's not forget what Ben Johnson said or told us at the Combine. His ability, DJ Moore's ability to handle every single receiver position across the board. He didn't say that about Rome Odunze. He didn't say that about Luther Burden. Like, that's a void left on the field by DJ Moore. Off it, there were players who saw DJ Moore play through injury after injury after injury, never left the game. That mattered in that locker room, that toughness, that identity that Ben Johnson reveres so much. Like, DJ Moore was a part of that, and now that is missing. So that's why I feel like I've had to argue about like the market and who was really spurring things. Like, I think it's good that DJ Moore was sent by the Bears to the Bills. They didn't send him off, to the Raiders. They didn't send him off to the Cardinals or some team that's fully rebuilding. The Bears sent DJ Moore to a contender. I think that matters on both sides. So it's going to be interesting to watch these receivers truthfully kind of grow up. Like, can Rome Odunze take that next step in his career? Can he be the leader in that room? Like, who fills that toughness void? Like, can Rome Odunze play every single game? Can Luther Burden play every single game? These are things to watch in 2026.
Well, it does put more pressure, not that there wasn't already, on the idea that look, Rome Odunze was a top 10 pick. He's going into year 3. He better be good.
Yeah.
Like, he's got, like, you passed on Jared Verse for Rome Odunze. Now you're moving DJ Moore out. Like, but I would also bet on that, because I think I get some of the frustration and the lack of patience, given that he wasn't healthy, and at the end of the day, the numbers didn't look that good last season. But I think that you kind of forget that Rome Odunze looked really good at the beginning of the season before he got hurt.
Well, and Fields said that at the start of the show. Like, Rome Odunze he was borderline dominant at the beginning of the year. Dude was getting in the end zone every single game. It was like, oh my God, here it comes, year 2 breakout, Rome.
Yeah, I think he led the league in receiving touchdowns through his first 4 or 6 games.
Yeah.
The intangibles are still there for Rome Odunze. Now it's just time for that to turn into production. There was that storyline early on in the year of whether or not Caleb Williams was targeting Rome Odunze too much. You know why he was? Because he was open.
Well, that's an interesting part, too. Like, how much were teams focusing on DJ that allowed other guys to get open? Is that even a thing? I don't know the answer, honestly. But that is one more guy.
There's a point in the middle of the season where Ben Johnson did say that DJ Moore had more in the playbook. I forget which particular week, but he was going into that week. He was the number 1 read, the first read, in a lot of the progressions. And Caleb Williams is instructed, if he's open, throw it. And for whatever reason, I think DJ Moore finished that game with just 1 catch. I think later on, the Green Bay Packers game came up, so that became less of a story. But in the middle of the season, that was something that Ben Johnson did bring up to us when we spoke to him.
Right. Well, he had 9 games with 3 or less catches. He had 5 games with 1 or less catches. That's not good. Yeah.
We can keep talking about this to death. They don't make this trade if Ben Johnson thinks DJ Moore is an essential part of the offense.
Well, you know what's interesting, too, about that? Well, he's slightly going down the road. I do wonder, what's Caleb's knowledge of or conversation about this, like what him and Ben and their exit meetings and whatnot. I mean, Caleb Williams, and I'm not saying this in any negative way whatsoever, but he tweeted about Drew Dahlman about 5 seconds after it happened. Hulk with the sad face. I haven't seen anything come out yet. I mean, I'm just saying. Whose fault was it on the last play of the season? In essence, I don't think the quarterback of the team is worried about DJ being out the door. I really don't. I think he feels pretty comfortable with who he's going to get to throw the ball to.
I disagree. No, I think he's going to miss him in that locker room. I think they became closer as the years went on together, with 2 years together, as the weeks and months added up. To your point, Carm, there is still Rome Odunze, Luther Bird, and Colson Loveland. Caleb Williams has weapons. To me, once Drew Dahlman retired, the Bears had to shift their resources. They had to pivot fast. I think this is part of it. Center is number 1 on the offseason priority list. That's an essential position in Ben Johnson's offense, and it needs to be addressed almost immediately now.
So that's another interesting part of this too. That we had the one part we didn't. If he doesn't retire, do you think this trade happens?
Probably. I still think it does, but
the GM was on record a week ago talking about this before we had any idea Dahlman was going to get traded.
I know, I get it, but the day after
retire,
the day after it happened, and maybe it's because they realize they need the money to go get the best center out there. That he's just going to be expensive.
All right, Johnsy, go enjoy your birthday. Stop talking to Carmen about Darnell Mooney.
Text me, Carm. You're good.
Thank you.
See you guys.
All right, the great Adam Jahns. Do we have one more quick timeout before I make my last brilliant Johnny Morris point here?
Johnny Morris is coming up next?
Johnny Morris is coming
up
next.
It's the worst tease in the history of this show. All due respect to Johnny Morris.
The history of the Chicago Bears.
Don't leave us now. Carm's got a Johnny Morris point coming up. But first, can you believe we're already 2 months into 2026? Guys, that doesn't mean we're moving away from our goals, though. We gotta stay strong here. Gotta stick with those goals. It includes what we eat and what we drink. Huel is the perfect solution for high-protein routine support, busy days, and convenience. We're all busy. Huel's gonna take care of you with the ready-to-drink Black Edition. Breakfast, post-workout, meetings, school drop-off, errands. This is a complete meal in my hands right here. It's going to help you hit your protein goals without needing to cook, which is great. 35 grams of protein, 27 essential vitamins and minerals. There's no artificial sweeteners, colors, flavors. It's gluten-free, and it's under $5 per meal. It's a complete meal that you can literally grab and go. It's in my hands right now, and under $5. It's way faster than meal prep. You don't have to clean up, too. That's great. So if you're trying to stay consistent, this combo makes it stupidly easy. Check it out. Limited time offer, Huel. Today, 15% off with our code BEARS15, new customers only. Thank you to Huel for partnering and supporting our show. It's Huel.com, BEARS15. If you're busy, this is a game changer.
Shout out to our friends at Huel. By the way, my guy, Jake, who beat me in tennis, he did it on Huel, which was because he loves the show. He drank the Huel, and then he took me down. All right, hey, shout out to our friends at Ray Chevrolet. And, Ray's been texting about the DJ Moore trade today, and it's not going to change anything as far as the shot clock is ticking. Ray still got his focus. And, yes, buzzer beater deals all month long. That's what you love about Ray Chevrolet. They do their car events to the sports calendar. It's the car clearance madness event. Is there anything better than that? I don't think there is. Check out their selection of over 125 vehicles under $20,000. Your Badgers going to be in the tournament, by the way?
Yeah, easily.
Okay. They're doing nothing. Ray's
the
price.
Two best wins in the entire country this year.
Ray's price promise lets you not think about the Wisconsin Badgers or the fact that Northwestern won't be in it. Lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you are going to pay. The car clearance madness event going on all month long, 0% financing. Check out our friends at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. All right, let's hear about Johnny Morris, as Steven just said. And Steven, by the way, has a potential draft pick for the Bears that they'll take either at 57 or 60, who potentially could be in that wide receiver room. I just think it's worth noting, Adam Hoge, that Johnny Morris, no one knows who Johnny Morris is. Frankie the Greek, Martin, Eric Bochanton, my guy, Will Taplin. You think Bochanton knows? He probably does. He might. That's the leading wide receiver in the history of the Chicago Bears? That's crazy. 5,059 yards. He retired in 1967. He had one good season in the NFL, by the way. He was a Pro Bowler once in 1964. The leading receiver in the history of the Bears played in the 60s. And by the way, number 2 on that list is Harlan Hill, who retired in 1962. His career was in the 50s. I'm sorry, the conversation about the Bears in quarterbacks was always Sid Luckman in the 40s, and then finally, can somebody please break Eric Kramer's single-season record of 38-38, which lasted 30 years until Caleb came along last year. Jay Cutler never broke it. That's pathetic. It's just pathetic. And so DJ, in his time here, got to 3,000 yards, which is 2,000 short of Johnny. I would just like to see that particular record fall. Harlan Hill, by the way, they created the Harlan Hill Trophy because he was a D2 guy. Mm-hmm. My guy Tyson Bagent won the Harlan Hill in 2021. Best D2 player in the country, the Heisman. Harlan Hill, number 2. Hello?
So is this a quarterback problem, a wide receiver problem, or both?
It's an organizational problem. Right. It's unbelievable to me.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a prediction that at least 2 players, while Caleb Williams is quarterback of the Chicago Bears, will beat that.
I think it should be more than 2.
Well, probably, but I'm going to say at least 2, and I think one of them is going to be Colson Loveland. Does that count?
I don't know if that counts.
Isn't it receiving overall? Or is it just wide receiver leader?
It probably is just receiver overall. Well, what did Mike Ditka come?
I was going to say, what did Ditka have? I have no idea.
I'm looking it up right now.
Well, while you look that up, can I give you some Matt Eberflus news?
No. Is he back?
You can't. Just wait till you hear this title. According to Tom Pelissero,
he's got. Hold on. Let me think about what the title will be. I'm not looking. I'm looking. I think he is the defense quality control coach.
No.
No?
You're not quality control.
I'm just making up a title.
Yeah,
You
but
said it's a
that's
hell of a
the
title.
lowest end of the. Think of like a higher end made up title to like give somebody who's been a head coach at some point in their career.
Defensive transition coordinator.
Okay.
The defensive.
What time does when does Braggs get home from Arizona?
The defensive bee honey sweet division analysis coordinator.
According to Top Health, the 49ers have hired Matt Eberflus as their assistant head coach of defense.
Close enough. I nailed it.
You didn't come close at all.
The assistant head coach of defense, the defensive B coordinator.
Eberflus, the former Bears head coach and most recently Cowboys defensive coordinator, fills a key role vacated when Gus Bradley left for Tennessee. What is this key role? Assistant head coach of defense?
He's the assistant head coach of the defense.
Who's the head coach of the defense?
That'd be the defensive coordinator, right?
Right? So why is he not the assistant defensive coordinator?
Because he's Matt Eberflus, and he knows when you do right.
Some of these titles are wrong. Right?
I'm glad the Flus is still kicking. I would have rather him coach Libertyville High School, but I thought that would have been a better spot for him. But good for him. Let him keep on making money.
Assistant head coach of defense. It just creates a very confusing flow chart to me. They have a good defensive coordinator, by the way. Raheem Morris is their DC. Raheem Morris doesn't need the Flus.
800, 2,300. I'm doing the math on Ditka.
Ditka?
You
can't just look up his total receiving number?
Well, his total numbers are greater than Morris, but he played for the Cowboys, and he didn't do it with the Bears.
Okay.
He didn't do it with the Bears. So you're right. Colson Loveland is going to break that. These numbers got to fall. Enough with Luckman, enough with Johnny Morris, enough with and I say this affectionately, enough with the 85 Bears. It's time. It's just time. Like it was with the 69 Cubs, like it was with the 08 Cubs, like it was with the 61 Blackhawks. Johnny Morris cannot be your all-time leading receiver. It's got to be over. It'd be, if he had 10,000 yards, that'd be kind of cool. 5,000 yards, all-time leading receiver, Bears. Come on, man. Harlan Hill.
Dave Mann said he's the new Phil Snow.
Yes.
Flus is now the Phil Snow of the 49ers. Phil Snow wishes he could be assistant head coach of the defense.
Where is Phil Snow? I actually just looked that up, didn't I? Isn't he with the Cornhuskers or something?
He is, yes, that's right. He's with Nebraska and Matt Rule because they were together in Carolina.
All right. I know that we're ready to go here, but if anything else happens today, we'll be back, even if.
Which is probably why we should go, so that we can get in position.
Right. By the way, if you are new to the show, 2,000 plus watching right now, we're 90 minutes into this thing. Hit the subscribe button. It is free. Whenever any news breaks around the Bears, we are breaking in, going live. Shows are Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock Central Time. That is 52 weeks of the year. So if you are a Bears football fan or a football fan in general, you want to be subscribed to the channel. Also, by the way, we cover every other sport in Chicago too. Cubs, Sox, Bulls, Blackhawks, and the Great Northwestern Wildcats, who got screwed last night by Purdue.
We're just 42 away from 106,000 too.
42 to 106. Can we do it right now?
This is a live counter. We'll see it if you do.
Well, you guys sit here while that happens. I'm going to go make my lunch.
All right. Hoge, make a prediction as we try to get to 106 here on what the next move will be. Make one prediction on your way out the door. Next Chicago Bears move. Are you going to take the easy play of Tremaine Edmonds, or are you going elsewhere?
No, I'm going to say release or trade Tremaine Edmonds.
Release or Tremaine. Well, subscribe to the channel so you know when that happens, and we'll do a live show at that point too.
Probably not doing a live one for that one.
You don't think so?
No.
What happens if it's people are going to be so excited? It's another $15 million in the old kitty.
Illini MCG says the next one's going to be Tyson Bagent getting traded.
We're going to trade you Illini MCG for that comment. You're not trading Tyson Bagent. We got all the money that we need here. Got draft picks. You're keeping the elite insurance policy. Thank you very much.
Super chats
/ best player on the team.
Zero Demon $10. Welcome to Chicago. Linderbaum.
It should be like a Linderbaum sandwich somewhere. Can I get the Linderbaum?
We'll talk about food right now.
You hungry?
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay. Mr. Ferrier, our guy who gave us the greatest blueprint of how to enjoy San Francisco, which we did not use. Hoge throws confetti.
The confetti is still here.
Steven, a question for Hoge. Does he think we hold on to this new segment, or are we more likely to package in a trade for someone, Max, or anyone else?
I would say that between now and draft night, one of those 2 second-round picks gets moved at some point. Yes, but I
think that's a very safe play.
Just guessing.
That's a safe play. I like draft capital. I like using money and getting creative. Go get Linderbaum. Keep the draft capital. Figure out how to get this done. But maybe they'll go all in on Max. Dan Zoom the 2. Dan Zoom the 2nd. $10. Dan's room. That's better. Wow. Well, he never quite collected with Caleb. I think this is more a loss of attitude than numbers. They'll miss his effort. That said, we don't usually get much in trades. Well, wide receivers don't get much in trades. Thank you. I got it. Randy, T.O., and Quan.
I'm still surprised it was a second-round pick. And yes, it's a pick swap with 5th round. I get it. It's a second-round pick.
It's a great job. Ryan Poles had a great day. Mr. Feeney, 04, $10. Moore made $25 million in 2025. He cost us over $36,000 per yard. That's wild. Good job on the math there. Is that right? 600 and something divided by 25 million is 36,000 a yard. Okay. Loveland and Odunze were about $5 million per year and having the same production at 1/5 of the cost. Luther and rookie deal, great trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The production did not match the salary. $2 from Alex, the Bears fan, 1989. Get it, too, is damn good with GM work. Yes, it is, Alex. Your good work, too, buddy. Teremy, that was great for the Bills and Bears. Wow, a second. Good excitement by Teremy.
I'm excited to see DJ Moore on the Bills, to be honest with you.
Yeah, outside of the fact that he has to live in Buffalo, DJ Moore's got to be like, who's throwing me the football? Oh, his name's Josh Allen. Thank you. I've never seen anybody like this in my career.
Yeah, and right now on that roster prior to the trade, they had Dalton Kincaid, who just couldn't get involved very much. They had Keon Coleman, who the GM practically hated publicly. And then there's Khalil Shakir, who he's a short to intermediate route guy. So, I mean, DJ Moore's route tree should really help out Josh Allen and that Bills team.
Over-under that he produces more in Buffalo than he just did in 2025 in Chicago. Yeah.
By 1,000,000 miles.
1,000,000 miles?
Yeah, I
You think he gets to 1,000 yards?
100%. You don't?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I definitely think he has a better year.
He'll cost about $18,000 per yard next year.
I think he eclipses. I think he well eclipses 1,000.
Right.
I'd be surprised, assuming he stays healthy.
Let's close with the Craigulator. It's time for the Craigulator. It's time for the Craigulator.
It's time for the Craigulator.
My clapping was way off there. It wasn't even close.
We haven't been dancing well enough for you, Craigulator, lately. We'll get it back. Don't worry.
Oh, we miss Woot.
Yeah, that's true. You got it?
Sure, $20. Carm's mock draft picks are based on locker room demeanor. Hot take. Chicago CHGO meatball.
It's true.
OG.
I get very, very, very into people that are high quality individuals. I'm a character guy. I make no apologies for it. Steven, who are they going to draft at number 60? You had somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pitch you on wide receiver Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. He's projected to go right around there, late second, early third, and he did get significant playing time at USC. What did I miss?
Hoge's laughing at the joke that's in the chat by Greg Braggs, I'm assuming.
Greg said,
Oh.
hashtag Carm's big board.
Yeah. Zachariah Branch, though, he got significant playing time as a freshman at USC, catching passes from
At Tennessee?
No. USC.
That would be Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams. He had 31 catches for 320 yards, 2 TDs with Caleb. Then he transferred to Georgia, broke out against tougher competition. I like him because he does a lot of the things that Olamide Zaccheaus did. He's he's like 5'8", I believe. So he's a slot receiver. He also could replace Stephen Duvernay in the return game. Did plenty of that, both punt and kick in college. 4.35 40. How's that sound? Bears need more speed. That's what he just ran at the combine. So it was a late second, early third. I mean, that's a guy that would make a ton of sense with this extra draft capital now.
Don't you think the Bears should hire Steven? I mean, we couldn't lose Steven because the whole show would collapse, but I think Steven could be a great fit for somewhere in that draft room. Just.
I would love that job.
I know you would.
I would.
Just please.
Hoge, are you threatened by that because you want a job there too?
No, I'm more worried about losing Steven.
Oh, okay.
I won't want that job.
That was really. I like you as an NFL head coach. I'm going to continue.
You know how much time those people spend away from their families?
You could be an assistant head coach to a special teams coordinator.
Right. I want to be assistant head coach of special teams.
That's exactly what you should do. You'd make
That's
more
your next
than
title.
you would make more than you make here.
What are the day-to-day responsibilities for? I'm just this flews things in my head now. What are his day-to-day responsibilities?
He's got to be in the building.
I was surprised that John Fox is moving to Buffalo.
Brags, but
and the best part about the John Fox thing is the backup quarterback of the Bills is.
That's right. It's a reunion. Not really, but
be a great reunion.
By the way, lastly on Darnell Mooney.
No, you don't get a lastly on Darnell Mooney. You've exhausted your
You
Darnell
brought up
Mooney.
Mitch Trubisky. Darnell, you think Darnell Mooney? I don't think Darnell Mooney wants to come back here. I think Darnell Mooney wants as far away from the organization as possible.
And Bragg's in the stands, $5. I would just like to say that Carm has the best takes and the smartest takes, and he's also very good looking and athletic.
That's because earlier in the show he called me an idiot, and
also they are trading Tyson Bagent next.
Yeah, well, again, you know, Greg is just if nothing but Mr. Sense of Humor.
All right. Well, if they trade for Max Crosby in the next hour, it is your fault that we are not home and ready to go.
I'm just going to stay here and hang out.
There you go.
Actually, I have a stretch lab situation at 3 o'clock. So
I knew there was always
if they trade in those 25 minutes.
I'm also unavailable at 4:30 for at least 20 minutes.
You know, listen, in those 25 minutes as I get ready for my next visit to Game Day Men's Health, let's not do that deal. But I'll be very.
Just gave the Bears their window to do it.
I'll be very flexible at 3:30, ready to talk. All right. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button on the way out, or 363 likes for 2,000 people watching. That is unacceptable. We need more. Thank you so much. We're back tomorrow at 1 unless something happens before then. For Darnell Mooney, Adam Hoge, Adam Jahns, Stephen Nicholas, Greg Braggs, Jake Flanagan, and everybody else who consumed the DJ Moore content today, we say thank you for watching and tell a friend about the CHGO Bears Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.